Right now, as you're just sitting there listening to me, your body is performing this incredible, high-stakes balancing act. It's this constant, kind of hidden effort that's happening every single second just to keep you alive. So today, we're going to pull back that curtain and take a look at this really remarkable biological process.
Yeah, literally right this second. All your cells, your tissues, your organs, they are all working together towards one absolutely crucial goal. So what is this amazing feat they're pulling off?
Well, it's all about maintaining balance. And this isn't some kind of metaphor. We're talking about a precise biological state that your body is constantly striving for. This state, it has a name, and honestly, it's the key to understanding how you stay alive from moment to moment. And that state of balance is called homeostasis. You can kind of think of it as your body's internal happy place. A stable environment where everything is just humming along perfectly. It is the ultimate goal of pretty much every single process happening inside of you.
So what does homeostasis look like in action? Well, it means keeping your blood pH just right, making sure your blood sugar doesn't go on a wild roller coaster, and of course, maintaining that steady internal body temperature. And these aren't just suggestions, they are absolutely critical for your survival. So how on earth does your body pull off this constant balancing act? Well, it uses a really clever system of feedback.
The main tool your body uses is this brilliant system called negative feedback. A good way to think of it is as the great stabilizer, always working to bring things back to normal.
To really get this, let me tell you about Debbie, the bearded dragon. Now, Debbie was an ectotherm, what some people might call cold-blooded. It just means her body temperature would change with her surroundings. If she got too hot, she'd just move away from her heat lamp. Simple. But you're an endotherm. Your body works tirelessly to keep its internal temperature constant no matter what's happening outside. And that is a perfect example of negative feedback in action.
So, the key idea here is that negative feedback is a counteracting response. Anytime a variable, like your temperature, strays from its ideal set point, the whole system kicks in to reverse that change and pull it right back into that state of homeostasis.
Okay, picture this. You're outside on a blazing hot Texas summer day. Your body temperature starts to climb. Right away, your nerves act like little sensors, sending an alert to your brain. Your brain immediately sends out signals to counteract the heat. Your sweat glands kick on, cooling your skin as all that sweat evaporates, and your blood vessels widen to release heat from your blood. That's why you might get a little flushed. It's this whole coordinated effort just to cool you down.
But what happens when you walk inside where the AC is just blasting? The whole system instantly flips. Sweating stops to make sure you don't lose any more heat. Your blood vessels narrow to conserve warmth. And if you get cold enough, your muscles start to contract really fast. Yep, you shiver to generate more heat. See, it's always a counteracting response, always pulling you back to balance.
And this isn't just about temperature. This very same principle of negative feedback is constantly at work managing the sugar or glucose levels in your blood.
Here, you've got two key hormones that are basically working on opposite teams. If your blood sugar gets too high, your pancreas releases insulin. I always like to think of insulin as making your cells shout, "Feed me!" because it literally tells them to take in all that extra glucose from your blood. Now, on the flip side, if your blood sugar is too low, a different hormone called glucagon tells your liver to release its stored glucose. It's just a perfect, beautiful balancing act.
So, if negative feedback is the stabilizer, always trying to bring things back to normal, what's its opposite? Well, that would have to be positive feedback, the amplifier. Instead of counteracting a change, it ramps it up and intensifies it, pushing the body further away from its normal state, but for a very specific reason.
All right, so let's check out the other side of the coin. Positive feedback, the body's super powerful amplifier.
So while negative feedback is all about saying, "Whoa, let's counteract this," positive feedback is basically screaming, "More, more, more." It takes an initial signal and just makes it stronger and stronger and stronger, creating this powerful escalating loop.
The classic example here is childbirth. When the baby's head pushes on the cervix, it sends a signal up to the brain. The brain responds by releasing hormones that cause the uterus to contract. But here's the wild part. Those contractions cause even more pressure, which then triggers the release of even more hormones, which in turn creates stronger and stronger contractions. This amplifying loop just keeps going until the baby is born and the initial signal, the pressure, stops. It's just a brilliant way for the body to push away from balance for a very specific, very powerful outcome.
So these feedback systems are clearly essential for life, which of course means we need to talk about what happens when they break.
Let's take a look at type 1 diabetes. In this condition, the pancreas just can't produce insulin. So, what does that mean? It means when blood sugar gets high, there's no signal to tell the cells to take it in. That negative feedback loop we talked about, it's broken.
And this is absolutely critical. See, glucose just floating around in your blood can't be used for energy. For your cells to get the energy they need to survive, they have to take that glucose in.
So, because that automatic feedback system isn't working, people with type 1 diabetes have to basically become the feedback loop themselves. They have to constantly monitor their blood sugar levels and give themselves insulin to manage a process that their bodies just can't do on their own anymore.
So after all this, why does any of it matter? What's the big picture takeaway from understanding these complex internal systems?
It matters because these systems are the silent, tireless guardians of your health. Every single moment of every single day, negative and positive feedback loops are performing this delicate dance to maintain the homeostasis that keeps you alive. It is an incredible, invisible process happening inside you right now.
And that really just leaves us with one final thought. Beyond temperature and blood sugar, what other invisible systems are hard at work right now to keep you in balance? The more you learn about it, the more amazing it all becomes. So stay curious.